Hey guys, DeltaCanuckian here, and I got some Far Cry 3 for you. I'm going to be showing you various clips of multiplayer gameplay. I kind of wish I recorded some campaign to show you guys, but I've finished that and basically cleared the world of enemies. So there isn't a whole lot left to record and show out of that, but anyways, I'm going to talk about the game and basically, as the title says, why this game is so awesome, and it's really just one of the most memorable games I've played in the last few years. It's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect, and I'll get into that. So I'm going to talk about really just the three areas of the game: the campaign, the story mode, the cooperative campaign, and the competitive multiplayer, which you're seeing on screen right now. Starting with the campaign, just the three things I can call it are addicting, immersive, and I guess it's being redundant, but engrossing. It's just like, this is a game that I was really skeptical about, mostly because they were showing only multiplayer, and I really didn't like Far Cry 2. I knew Ubisoft was saying, hey, we've worked and fixed all the issues you guys had with Far Cry 2. But even then, because they weren't showing it, I was like, you know what? I'll wait for the reviews. I'll wait for, all the press to come out, and then I'll make up my mind. A day before it came out, my friend saying, hey, you want to go to the midnight release? We couldn't find a midnight release, but then we decided the next day to go get it. He convinced me to go and get the game, and I really do not regret it. If you're looking for a shooter, a big open world game that just invites exploring, this is the right game for you. I spent a good 10 hours just like, story mission? Nah. It's like literally the first 4 or 5 missions, it does kind of keep you in a specific area. It keeps you on a bit of a track to make sure you get through the story. But after you get through those first 5 missions, you are now set off to do whatever you want. Your objective literally reads, explore the island or go do blah 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 to get your next objective. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil it. So it really is inviting you to explore this huge world, and it really is, the world really is alive. There's so much going on. There's enemy outposts you can capture. My favorite thing to do was go in with the bow, get an overlook point, use my camera to map out and mark every enemy, know where they are, and then just go in and use my takedowns and the bow to silently pick guys off one by one and take over the outpost without anyone knowing I was there. And there's just something extremely satisfying about that I haven't gotten that kind of thrill from a game in a long time. And I didn't really want to say thrill there, because getting a thrill from killing people, someone's going to think I'm crazy here. But exploration is really encouraged. The world feels alive. When you're not in one of these outposts or one of the towns, you're wandering through the jungle, and there's various animals there that you need to hunt to upgrade your equipment, and that will just, they'll sneak up on you and attack you, and you can sneak up on them and attack them and stuff, and it's really cool. It was a lot of fun just to kind of run out and, like, okay, the map says there's tigers in this area. I'm gonna try and fucking take down a tiger. It's a lot harder than it sounds. And going back to what I was saying about the outposts there, the other big thing for the story in this game for me is that it has stealth mechanics that actually work. So many games say they want to be stealthy and blah blah blah. Far Cry 2 was like, hey, you can use stealth to get around and do all this stuff without being noticed, but it didn't work at all. In Far Cry 3, the stealth really does work. The AI, while predictable at times, and you can basically get them to go wherever the hell you want by throwing rocks at walls and stuff, it's actually generally very smart, especially when you've dropped in and killed a guy and they see the body. It's like, okay, now we're on alert, we're looking for you, and we're going to notice you a lot easier. It's just so much fun. And like I was saying, if you're looking for a great open world game, a tight shooter, and just something that's going to give you 20 to 30 hours of entertainment, this is definitely the game. There hasn't been a game in a long time where I just like to go out and cause havoc and not really deal with the story in a long time. The last game I can really remember like that is Mercenaries on the PlayStation 2. Getting into the two multiplayer parts of the game, the co-op is really, it's an enjoyable distraction to play with friends. Obviously you want to play with friends because it's co-op. Any co-op mode in any game I do, like for me, I want to play with friends. I don't want to like get thrown in matchmaking with some random people online. Sure, you could meet some cool people through that, but usually you're just going to get frustrated because someone's not at your skill level, or you're not on their skill level, or something like that. It's a much more enjoyable experience with friends. The rank in co-op is tied into the competitive multiplayer. Those two go hand in hand, as well as your loadouts and everything. I didn't find the mode to be overly deep. I know they're releasing DLC for it, so it seems like they're going to support that mode. Ubisoft will be supporting that mode going in the future. But again, it's just a little distraction from what I look at as the main offering, which is the single player, and that's really what it is. It is the main course by far over the co-op and the multiplayer. And if this is a game you're looking at thinking, oh, I'm going to buy Far Cry 3 for its multiplayer, don't. You will hate yourself for making that decision. And even though I'm showing multiplayer gameplay on here, this is literally like almost the only multiplayer I've played, what you're seeing on screen, because I don't find it fun. It really does. It doesn't hide that it is a COD knockoff, that it is trying to be Call of Duty. But the thing is, it feels clunky. The controls feel tight and great and fine in the single player, but in multiplayer, when it's trying to be fast-paced and, you know, Call of Duty-esque, without that 60 frames per second, it just feels clunky, and it doesn't work. And even as a COD knockoff, it doesn't really have the same depth as Call of Duty games. Hate on Call of Duty games as much as you want. There's a lot to unlock, there's a lot to do, there's prestiging, there's everything, there's stuff in place to keep people playing for a long time. Far Cry 3 doesn't do a whole lot different. Sure, you have zip lines, sure, you have battle cries to temporarily like increase health or stamina or something along those lines, but these aren't big enough differences to make the game stand out from all the other games with COD-esque multiplayer, and definitely not from Call of Duty itself. So that's just the roundup on the multiplayer. Getting back to the story, the campaign, I guess we'll talk about some of the other things. The story itself starts off really well. It's definitely gonna bring you in. I was really interested. I'm like, hey, you know, this is cool. I wanna see, but it doesn't really live up to its initial promise. All the trailers and the ads and everything have talked about getting into like insanity and a person going insane, and it really does start off on the right foot. But the ending, the final act of the game feels a little rushed, and it just doesn't really get in. Like, you never really see the character go truly insane unless you choose one of the endings. You choose one ending in particular. There's two endings, and this isn't going to be like, you know, some other games where, you know, all the stuff you do throughout the rest of the game decides what ending you get. No, it's you know, the standard, okay, you're given a choice. Press a button to do this, press a button to do that. You get a different ending either way, and it is a very different ending. But it does feel a little rushed and incomplete at the end there. That said, this is a spectacular game. I think Machinima is accurate to call it Skyrim with guns. There's so much going on. The world is alive. It's so much fun just to explore and cause havoc. There is so much crazy shit you can do in this game. It's not even funny. And just running around with a flamethrower and lighting shit on fire and watch it spread is glorious. That's a great piece of technology Ubisoft has there. Again, if you're looking for an enjoyable 20 to 30 hour single player experience, this is definitely a great game to go for. It should be one of the contenders for Game of the Year. But if you're looking for a multiplayer experience, it's definitely not the place to go. That said, the single player is definitely enough. This is an awesome game. I highly recommend it if that's what you're into. And that's all I gotta say for this video. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe for more Call of Duty and other shooters that will make appearances occasionally on here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.